Hey, y'all. It's your girl, Barbie J here, saying, my girls hold me down, them boys mess around, my love life is a mess, we're going out tonight because I'm looking for love. That's right, we are talking about Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 5, Episode 4, The Letter. And okay, even though we didn't get to the point where we're gonna read the letter, and somebody told me already, they said we probably won't hear them or hear anything about that letter until next week's episode. And they were absolutely correct. Because we know one thing, and that is that Tyler Perry is great at stretching out a storyline. Good God Almighty. Anyway, so let me get started with this recap. So here we have Fatima. She's still mad at Zach because he accidentally called her Karen. Come on, and honestly, we all understand why that happened. How Zach could make that mistake, right? Because Fatima was basically fussing at him in the gym and tearing him down in front of people. I mean, why couldn't she just wait until they got home? So, now she wants to leave. She wants to leave, and Zach is holding her arm, asking her to please, let's discuss this. It was a slip up. Yeah, but like he said, you're the one who keeps bringing up her name. And Zach is absolutely right about that. If she wasn't berating him like Karen does, it wouldn't have triggered him. Now, she told me her getting triggered and how when she was talking to Andy, how she thought about her exes and it pissed her off. And Andy had to tell her, Zach ain't your ex. But the same way she can get triggered, Zach can get triggered. And she triggered him. And he thought he was talking to Karen. He had to shut it down. Fatima's going really off the wagon. She need to, not off the wagon, but she's going a little wacky. She need to roll it in, girl. Roll it back in or leave him. Because it's not worth it. You're causing your own stress. You actually turning into Karen. You acting so like you don't trust him, and you know what's going on with him. He's going through it at the same time, Fatima. So you gotta let some of that go. Either you're gonna trust him or you're not. That's all I got to say about that. So getting back to what I was saying. We got Fatima's like, let go of my hand, because Zach is holding on to her. And she's like, I'm not playing. I'm about to slap the mess out of you and all this stuff. And I could feel this issues rising up in me. And I'm about to tear this place apart. So he finally lets her go, which, I was disappointed in her behavior, to be honest. I really was. This is a public place, and it's not the place for that. You deal with whatever issues you have with your man at home or in private somewhere. Anyway, she walks away and bumps into him purposely, and then Deja comes over. See, she left it open for Deja to come over. Everybody saw what was happening. Deja comes over saying, ooh, that looked intense. And she calls over her two friends to meet Zach. What's their names? Maria and Jill, and said that they would cheer him up. And he's like, no, and telling her to leave him alone. He needs to get back to his workout. She's like, well, you work at home and all this stuff. He said, yeah, I need to do my workout so I can get back home and do my work. And then she tells him, y'all, just what Fatima said she would do. Well, oh, he's so fine. And she started with that, I'm going to be a little late with my rent this month. And she only been there, how long she been living there? On Zatima, she only been there maybe a week. Or in this show, I'm going to give her 2 weeks maybe. So Zach said, okay, that's fine. And then Deja says, we can always work something out. And she put her leg up on the bench and she's stretching in front of Zach. And Zach's like, oh, no. I don't know it. I don't know that at all. I know nothing. I don't know that. And and he tells her she's doing way too much. She need to stop. My girl don't play. You're doing too much. And he trying to get tough and claims that he's done with being nice to her. But I said, yeah, we'll see. So anyway, Q comes out of Maurice's room with this female and puts his shoes up on the table where Calvin is sitting drinking his coffee, and Calvin pushes them on the floor. Then Q says bye to the girl, hugging and kissing her, and he comes back to the table and smiling and stuff. And Calvin asks him, how can he live with himself? Maurice was really good to you. And Q admits that the FBI, I guess, set him free to get Maurice's ass. He's saying he cut a deal like it was cake. I said, damn, you just messed up. And that's what people was trying to tell him. Q was no good, but Maurice got trapped by the D. So he admits that he flipped on Maurice, and Q was just smiling as he talks about it. And, Calvin is mad and trying to say stuff, and Q reminds him that he can't put him out. Calvin can't put him out because his name ain't on the lease, and Calvin sits there pissed. But as soon as Q goes out that door and leaves to him, I'll be back later, Calvin had a locksmith hiding in his bedroom, and he had him change the locks and told him to put a big deadbolt on the door. See, Q ain't going to be able to pick that lock. I don't think so. So now we have Deja and her girls by the gym lockers, and she's talking about not having the rent, but she going to get some from Zach. He's so fine. And Fatima comes around the corner saying, who you talking about? And she put Deja's ass in check, So she told her she don't want to beat her ass again. And her friends was like, again? And Fatima said, yeah, she didn't tell you about the hot tub. They said, oh, that was you? And then Fatima went around the corner and said, this your last warning, and slammed Deja's arm in the locker once, twice, 3 times. And she was yelling, y'all get help. Y'all get help. Because Deja being all stupid and thirsty is what a problem is. And so the girls run out in the locker room, and one of them's yelling to get help, and Zach trying to go, and she said, you can't go in there. That's the female locker room. And Zach said, okay, go get somebody. When she went to get somebody, Zach ran in there, and he's yelling Fatima because he knew Fatima had something to do with Fatima. I was laughing. And he got her to, he got Fatima to free Deja, and Deja rolls over into his arms, and Fatima yanks her away from Zach as he back up as well. Then he asks Deja if she's okay, and I'm like, what? You asking her that? And then he said, I'm sorry. And again, I'm like, what? What are you saying you sorry for? So Fatima yells for Zach to come on, and he keeps running back like he wants to check on Deja and back like a fool. I said, boy, if you don't stop. And then the last thing he yelled to her before leaving out the locker room was that the rent was still due on the 1st. Remember what Fatima told her in Zatima? If it ain't on the 1st, if it 1 hour later, whatever, she gonna put her out. So then we got Pam showing up to Karen's apartment to check on her, and Miss Lisa's giving her a hard time before letting her go see Karen, saying do not stress her out. So Pam promised she wouldn't. So Pam goes into the bedroom and asks Karen how she's doing and how the baby and all that stuff. And Karen says she's feeling great and that her mom won't allow her to do anything. So Pam asks Karen what she's doing. And she said she was writing a letter. She was like, to who? But she didn't tell. Then Karen apologizes for her behavior towards Pam the day before, and also asks Pam if she told Aaron where she was. And Pam said no. So Karen is trying to figure out, then who was it? And Pam said, didn't you say he have a doctor friend that works at the hospital? And Karen's like, oh, yeah, oh, shoot. And she said, so wait, she said she must have told her. And so Pam says, isn't that against the hip-hop law? The hip-hop law. Karen said, it's the HIPAA law. And Karen said, that's why he didn't want to tell me who it was. And now she's realizing that she made a mistake by cussing out Fatima and Zach. She made a fool out of herself once again. And now we have Aaron. He's in an office with a suit on. What does Aaron do now? What does he do for a living? When does he wear a suit? What is this? Somebody put it down in the comment section. Please let me know, because I don't know. And so Miss Lisa calls and asks, is this Aaron? And he's like, hello? And she's like, is this the accountant? She keep calling him the accountant. I don't know why. So she tells him, she said the preacher. So she tells him to be at Karen's house that night at 8 p.m. Of course, he was thrilled. She said, I'm cooking dinner. He's like, okay, I'll be there. She said, and don't stress her out. And he's like, okay, I'm not going to do that. She said, I'm also invited Zach. Boy, Aaron's smile faded, didn't it? And then he had the nerve to say, do you think that's a good idea? Because Zach really stresses her out. And I'm like, what? What? Are you for real now, Karen, you the only freaking one stressing her out. She's stressing herself with Zach. Zach ain't doing nothing to her. Believe us. We see that. So she said there would be no drama. And then she called Zach. And as I predicted, Zach was not interested in attending this little gathering. Zach said he needs to ask his girl. And then Miss Lisa asked for her number. And Zach is like, oh no, we are not going to do that. And she said that Fatima needs to be there as well. And Zach said he'll speak to her, but he don't think she would do it. And Miss Lisa said, good. And both of you should be here by 8 p.m. Then they go over to Danny. She calls Andy to move on getting help for Sabrina. And that's when Andy notices that Robin's office door is open. So she thinks he's in a meeting. So she's like, did you ask your boss, Robin? Did you ask him? I guess not. But tell me, who has a meeting with the door wide open? It makes no sense to me. Usually you in a meeting is behind closed doors. So then Danny is introduced to Quincy by her manager, who says he's taking Zach's job. So the manager leaves and Q is trying to flirt with Danny. And of course, she's not interested and just wants him to leave her alone. And she finally gets him, said, look, my passengers are coming. So she get him to leave, and passengers are getting off the flight by her counter. And she sees the man who had the rude wife in the, was it 2 episodes ago? She asked about the son and the wife and everything. Is she on a broom? Or, you know, Danny. Anyway, then Calvin calls Danny to follow up on info about Sabrina. And she's realizing that he really cares about Sabrina, because he did say he had 20 G's saved up that he can use to post bail for her. So, honey, that is love. Ain't nobody going to take their 20 G's and post bail for some chick that they don't really care about. Moving on, we got Andy. She goes into Fatima's office and she finds her working on centering herself. And she's like, what are you centering yourself from? Then Fatima tells her that Karen cussed her out the night before, and for no reason at all. And then she tells Andy about Zach calling her Karen by accident. And Andy's words of encouragement or something were very thoughtful. I think she was, that was like a good friend move. The thing she said, she let Fatima know that Zach is not your ex, because, Fatima's saying she started thinking about her ex. Zach is not your ex. This is what love is about. It's a process. And that those emotions that he shows whenever Karen's name is brought up could come from a trauma bond. So I had to Google trauma bond. I don't remember what they said. I had it written down somewhere, but I lost my papers. But, it comes from a relationship, some type of relationship that was filled with trauma. Let's basically say that. So, and we all know they had a toxic relationship. So, Fatima started thinking about it and listening anyway. And then Andy added that it is painfully obvious that Zach is over Karen and very much into you. And Fatima was thinking about it, but she was still trying to be mad at him. And it's not Zach's fault. I'm sorry. If anybody thought it was Zach's fault, I don't understand why. You're going to have to tell me in the comment section. But he is trying, and she already knows the baggage he comes with and everything else. So either be with him and deal with it or leave. That's my thought. And that was my 2 cents. That's my 2 cents. So anyway, Andy's back in her office and she gets a call from Karen, who tells her where she was and what happened with the spotting. She also stated the reason why she's whispering that Andy can't come over is because her mama is there and she had to sneak and make the call. And, and when they hang up, Andy calls Danny, lets her know about Karen, who is on bed rest by her doctor. And she told her she can call and check on her, but don't tell her about Sabrina, because she cannot, be stressed out. She's on bed rest. And then what do we have? Miss Lisa brings Karen lunch in bed, and Karen is going stir crazy because she wants to get out, and Miss Lisa said it's okay for Andy to come over tomorrow, and Karen was happy about that. And Karen is having a hard time now writing these letters, though, and she says she starts tearing up as she writes them, and she told her mother she's tired of crying. So Miss Lisa informs Karen that she's called both Aaron and Zach and that they'll be there tonight. So she need to get on those letters. And she told Zach to bring his girlfriend. And Karen got upset. And Lisa said that, what can she do? I'll be there, So Karen said, Mama, are you trying to stress me out? And she said, no, I'm just trying to get to the bottom of all of this ish. So Karen admitted that she cussed Fatima out for something she didn't do. And Miss Lisa said, oh yeah, Zach told her something about that. And Miss Lisa asked why she did it. And Karen admitted that she just wants to be mad at Fatima because she's mad at Zach. So Miss Lisa said, if you got something to say to her, say it now or forever hold your peace. And that is the truth. Zach calls Fatima, lets her know that he's in the reception area and wants to talk to her. And she won't let Zach, she meets with him and she won't let Zach kiss her. And he said he doesn't know of any way to prove that he is not in love with Karen. So then Fatima will not let Zach hold her hand, and she won't even look at him. And Zach is like, come on, Fatima, don't be like that. Don't be mad at me. And he apologized and stuff. And I don't think he owed her an apology. I really don't for that. And even for the night before, she's the one who decided to answer the damn phone. He said, don't answer it. It's Karen. So now here he is. He's telling Fatima, that he will cause a damn scene up in there if she don't start, looking at him holding his hand. And she's like, okay, I believe you. Then he tells her that Karen's mom wants both him and Aaron to go talk to Karen, and Fatima's having an issue with that, and I don't understand why about that. Even Zach thinks it's a good idea, and Fatima keeps saying why. But didn't Fatima tell Zach to take care of his business with Karen? Okay then, that's what he about to do. So anyway, Zach said Miss Lisa is cool peoples, and that if anyone can set Karen straight, it's her mom's, and Karen listens to her. Then he said she also invited you. Fatima's like, oh no, that's not happening. He said, I told Miss Lisa that. And Fatima said, because I ain't going to be called another biatch without a fight. So Zach said this will be the last time, he should have to say it. And Fatima said, well, then she said it better be. And then she said she's going to probably call her girls and her cousin over to the house. And Zach said, oh, so when I get home, I have a bunch of gangsters up in the house. And she just like, whatever. So now when they're leaving out of the break room, of course, they run into Hayden, who reminds them that he has a restraining order on Zach. Then Hayden goes into Andy's office to complain about Zach, and she tells him to, talk to Robin. And then she suggested that he reread the contract he signed to work there, which paragraph 45 page 9 states that when it comes to intercompany security, you cannot prevent a client from coming into the office. And Hayden's like, he's not a client, but Hayden forgot that Andy was representing Zach. Hello. So Hayden is pissed. He's like, you think this is cute, huh? And she said a little bit. And he said, then he told her, then you need to see who's in Robin's office right now. And Andy said she didn't care. And she said, I can only imagine what they are saying about you. And she asked Hayden, you know what, leave my office. And then she said, she never wishes ill of anyone. And Hayden said, I do all the time. And I was like, she just shook her head and said, I can't deal with this. So she tells him to leave. And as he's trying to leave, Fatima walks in and tells him, get your ass out of here. She was like, she's so done with him. Get your ass out of here. So then she closes the door behind her. And Andy said, boy, Hayden's so annoying. Fatima's like, he sure is. But she said, we got bigger problems. And she's like, what? She said, Gary and Robin are in his office right now. I said, what? I knew it was Gary, though. When he kept saying, see who's in there. But if what they're talking about, what they showed in the previews of next week's episode, if he's talking about I love Andy and she loves me and all this stuff, why is the door open unless Robin didn't want to throw Gary out or punch him out and they have a fight or something? I don't know. Maybe that's why he left it open, but I don't know who has meetings with it left open. Anyway, this is it for my recap for this week. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please take a moment right now, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button. Write a comment and share this video. It's your girl, Barbie J, saying, my girls hold me down. No, peace.